My dear friend, welcome. I am truly grateful that you have chosen to spend this precious time with me today. In a world where delay has become the silent destroyer of dreams, you have made the courageous decision to confront the very force that keeps millions trapped in mediocrity. In the next hour, I will share with you a revolutionary principle, the 10-second rule, that will forever change how you approach action, decision-making, and the achievement of your definite major purpose. This is not mere theory, but a scientifically backed method that has transformed the lives of countless individuals who dared to apply it with unwavering faith. Before we embark on this transformative journey together, I ask that you take a moment to like this message and subscribe. For when we gather as students of success, we amplify each other's growth and create a mastermind alliance that benefits all. Now, let me begin with a startling revelation that came to me during my extensive research with America's most successful industrialists. I discovered that the difference between those who achieve greatness and those who remain forever planning to achieve greatness can be measured in mere seconds, specifically 10 seconds. Chapter 1. The procrastination epidemic that's destroying dreams. During my conversations with Andrew Carnegie, he shared with me an observation that would forever change my understanding of human behavior. Napoleon, he said, leaning forward in his leather chair, I have watched thousands of men and women come through these doors with brilliant ideas, magnificent plans, and burning desires. Yet only a handful ever achieve what they set out to accomplish. Do you know why? I confess that I did not, and Carnegie's response was both simple and profound. The successful ones act within 10 seconds of making a decision. The failures deliberate, postpone, and rationalize until their dreams die of old age. This conversation occurred in 1908. Yet the principle Carnegie revealed remains as relevant today as it was over a century ago. In fact, modern neuroscience has validated what Carnegie intuitively understood. The human brain is wired to resist action through a sophisticated system of mental barriers designed to keep us safe, but which ultimately keep us small. Consider this startling fact. The average person spends 21% of their waking hours in a state of procrastination. That means for every 8-hour workday, nearly 2 hours are lost to delay, avoidance, and mental resistance. Over a lifetime, this represents more than 6 years of lost productivity. 6 years that could have been invested in building wealth, developing relationships, and creating the life of your dreams. But procrastination is not merely a time management problem. It is a success prevention system that operates at the deepest levels of human psychology. When we delay action, we are not simply postponing tasks. We are reinforcing neural pathways that make future procrastination more likely. Each moment of hesitation strengthens the very mental muscles that keep us trapped in mediocrity. The industrialists I studied understood this principle instinctively. Henry Ford once told me, Napoleon, I have built an empire not because I make perfect decisions, but because I make decisions perfectly. Quickly, decisively, and without the paralysis of overanalysis that destroys more dreams than failure ever could. Thomas Edison echoed this sentiment when he explained his approach to invention. I don't wait for inspiration to strike. I strike at inspiration by taking immediate action on every idea that enters my mind. Most ideas prove worthless, but the few that succeed more than compensate for the many that fail. The key is speed of execution, not perfection of planning. Chapter 2, the neuroscience behind the 10-second window. What Carnegie observed through decades of business experience, modern neuroscience has now explained with remarkable precision. When we have an impulse to act, whether it's making a phone call, starting a project, or pursuing an opportunity, our brain immediately begins a complex process of evaluation and resistance. Within the first 10 seconds of having an impulse to act, your brain activates what researchers call the prefrontal cortex override system. This system floods your consciousness with every possible reason why action might be dangerous, difficult, or unnecessary. It reminds you of past failures, amplifies potential obstacles, and generates elaborate justifications for delay. But here's the crucial insight that separates the successful from the struggling. This resistance system has a critical vulnerability. It requires time to build momentum. In the first 10 seconds after an impulse to act, the resistance is at its weakest. After 10 seconds, it becomes exponentially stronger with each passing moment. Think of it this way. Your impulse to act is like a match being struck. In the first 10 seconds, that match burns brightly and can ignite tremendous action. But if you hesitate, if you allow doubt and resistance to build, that match burns out and you're left in darkness, wondering why you can never seem to follow through on your intentions. Charles Schwab, the steel magnate who built one of America's great fortunes, understood this principle intuitively. During one of our conversations, he shared his personal success formula. Napoleon, I have trained myself to act within 10 seconds of recognizing an opportunity. Not 10 minutes, not 10 hours, 10 seconds. This single habit has been worth more to me than all the business education money can buy. When I asked Schwab how he developed this remarkable ability, his answer was both simple and profound. I realized that courage is not the absence of fear. It's action in the presence of fear. And fear grows stronger with time. Therefore, the secret to courage is speed. Chapter 3, The Anatomy of the 10-Second Rule. The 10-second rule is not merely a time management technique. It is a complete system for rewiring your brain's relationship with action. Let me break down the precise mechanics of how this rule operates and why it produces such extraordinary results. When you have an impulse to take action toward your definite major purpose, you have exactly 10 seconds to honor that impulse before your brain's resistance mechanisms fully activate. During these 10 seconds, you must take some form of physical action, no matter how small, that moves you toward your goal. The action doesn't need to be perfect, complete, or even significant. It simply needs to be immediate and directional. If your impulse is to make an important phone call, you don't need to complete the entire conversation within 10 seconds. You simply need to pick up the phone and begin dialing. If your impulse is to start writing a book, you don't need to write the entire first chapter. You simply need to open a document and type the first sentence. The power of this approach lies not in the magnitude of the initial action, but in the psychological momentum it creates. When you honor the 10-second rule, you accomplish 3 critical things simultaneously. First, you interrupt the brain's resistance pattern before it can fully form. By taking immediate action, you prevent the elaborate justification system that normally talks you out of following through on your intentions. Second, you create what psychologists call implementation momentum. Once you begin moving toward a goal, the brain's natural tendency is to continue that movement. Newton's first law of motion applies as much to human psychology as it does to physical objects. A body in motion tends to stay in motion. Third, you begin rewiring your neural pathways to favor action over hesitation. Each time you successfully apply the 10-second rule, you strengthen the mental muscles of decisiveness while weakening the mental muscles of procrastination. John D. Rockefeller, whose wealth exceeded that of entire nations, once explained his decision-making process to me in terms that perfectly illustrate the 10-second rule. Napoleon, I have discovered that the quality of a decision matters far less than the speed of its execution. A good decision implemented immediately will always outperform a perfect decision implemented eventually. When I asked Rockefeller how he had developed such remarkable decisiveness, he shared a practice that embodied the 10-second rule. Whenever I recognize an opportunity or feel compelled to take action, I immediately do something, anything, to move in that direction. I might make a phone call, write a note, or schedule a meeting. The specific action matters less than the speed of response. This habit has been the foundation of every fortune I have built. Chapter 4, The 4 Stages of Procrastination Resistance. To fully understand why the 10-second rule is so effective, you must first understand the 4 stages of procrastination resistance that your brain employs to keep you trapped in inaction. By recognizing these stages, you can intercept them before they gain momentum. Stage 1, the impulse 0 to 10 seconds. This is the moment when inspiration strikes, when you feel compelled to take action toward your goals. During this stage, your energy is high, your vision is clear, and your motivation is strong. This is your window of opportunity, the brief moment when action is not only possible but natural. Stage 2, the rationalization 10 to 60 seconds. If you fail to act within the first 10 seconds, your brain immediately begins generating reasons why action might not be necessary right now. These rationalizations are sophisticated and persuasive. I should do more research first. I need to create a better plan. I should wait for the right moment. I don't have enough time to do it properly right now. Stage 3, The resistance 1 to 10 minutes. As the rationalizations build momentum, they transform into active resistance. Your brain begins amplifying every possible obstacle, reminding you of past failures and generating elaborate scenarios of potential embarrassment or disappointment. The original impulse to act becomes buried under layers of doubt and fear. Stage 4, the abandonment 10 plus minutes. Finally, if the resistance is allowed to build for more than 10 minutes, the original impulse dies completely. You forget why you were motivated to act in the first place, and the opportunity passes into the graveyard of good intentions where most dreams go to die. Understanding these stages is crucial because it reveals why traditional approaches to overcoming procrastination fail so miserably. Most people try to overcome procrastination by addressing stage 4. They try to resurrect dead motivation through willpower, positive thinking, or elaborate planning systems. But by the time you reach stage 4, the battle is already lost. The 10 to second rule works because it operates at stage 1 before resistance has a chance to build. It's like stopping a snowball at the top of a mountain rather than trying to stop an avalanche at the bottom. Andrew Carnegie understood this principle when he developed his famous do-it-now philosophy. Napoleon, he once told me, "I have learned that there are only 2 types of people in this world: those who act on their impulses and those who are acted upon by their circumstances. The difference between these 2 types can be measured in seconds, not years." Chapter 5, the practical implementation formula. Now that you understand the science behind the 10-second rule, let me provide you with the exact formula for implementing this principle in your daily life. This is not theory. This is the practical system that has transformed the lives of thousands of individuals who have dared to apply it with consistency and faith. The 5-step implementation process. Step 1, recognition training. You must first develop the ability to recognize when you have an impulse to take action toward your definite major purpose. This requires heightened self-awareness and the ability to distinguish between genuine impulses and mere wishful thinking. Genuine impulses have 3 characteristics. They are specific, you know exactly what action to take. They are energizing, you feel motivated to act. And they are aligned, they move you toward your definite major purpose. Wishful thinking, by contrast, is vague, draining, and often contradictory to your stated goals. Step 2, the 10-second countdown. The moment you recognize a genuine impulse to act, you must immediately begin a mental countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. This countdown serves 2 purposes. It focuses your mind on immediate action, and it prevents your brain from beginning the rationalization process. Step 3, physical movement. Before the countdown reaches 0, you must take some form of physical action that moves you toward your goal. This action doesn't need to be perfect or complete. It simply needs to be immediate and directional. The key is to move your body before your brain can talk you out of it. Step 4, momentum building. Once you've taken the initial action, you must immediately take a second action, then a third. Building momentum before resistance can reassert itself. Think of this as lighting a fire. The first action is the spark, but you need additional fuel to create a sustainable flame. Step 5, completion or scheduling. Finally, you must either complete the task immediately or schedule a specific time to continue working on it. Never leave a task in limbo. Either finish it or create a concrete plan for its completion. Henry Ford applied this exact formula when he revolutionized American manufacturing. Napoleon, he once explained, "I built the Ford Motor Company not through elaborate planning, but through immediate action on every idea that aligned with my vision. When I conceived of the assembly line, I didn't spend months studying it. I immediately began experimenting with it. When I decided to pay workers $5 a day, I didn't form a committee to study the implications. I announced it the next morning. Speed of implementation has been worth more to me than perfection of planning." Chapter 6, overcoming the most common obstacles. As you begin implementing the 10-second rule, you will inevitably encounter obstacles that seem to make immediate action impossible. Let me address the most common of these obstacles and provide you with specific strategies for overcoming them. Obstacle 1, I don't have time right now. This is perhaps the most common rationalization for avoiding immediate action. The truth is, you don't need significant time to apply the 10-second rule. You simply need 10 seconds. Remember, the goal is not to complete the entire task immediately, but to take some action that creates momentum. If your impulse is to write a business proposal, but you only have 2 minutes before a meeting, you can still honor the 10-second rule by opening a document and writing the title. If your impulse is to call a potential client, but you're in a noisy environment, you can still honor the rule by finding their contact information and scheduling a reminder to call them within the next hour. Thomas Edison faced this same challenge when he was working on multiple inventions simultaneously. His solution was what he called micro-actions, tiny steps that could be completed in under a minute, but that maintained momentum on all his projects. Napoleon, he told me, I have learned that 5 minutes of action is worth 5 hours of planning. When I have an idea, I immediately do something, anything, to move it forward, even if I only have 30 seconds available. Obstacle 2, I need more information first. Obstacle is particularly insidious because it masquerades as prudence and preparation. While research and planning certainly have their place, they often become sophisticated forms of procrastination that prevent you from ever taking action. The key insight here is that you can often gather information while taking action, rather than before taking action. If your impulse is to start a new business, but you feel you need more market research, you can honor the 10-second rule by immediately contacting one potential customer to ask about their needs. If your impulse is to invest in real estate, but you feel you need more education, you can honor the rule by immediately calling a local real estate agent to ask about current market conditions. Charles Schwab built his steel empire using this exact approach. Napoleon, he once shared, I have discovered that the best market research is conducted in the marketplace, not in the library. When I have an impulse to pursue a new opportunity, I immediately take action to test that opportunity in the real world. I learn more in 1 day of action than I could in 1 month of analysis. Obstacle 3. I'm not ready yet. This obstacle reflects a fundamental misunderstanding about the nature of readiness. Most people believe they must feel ready before they can take action. But the truth is exactly the opposite. You become ready by taking action. Readiness is not a feeling. It's a skill that develops through practice. Every time you apply the 10-second rule, you become more ready for the next opportunity. Every time you take immediate action despite feeling unprepared, you build the confidence and competence that create genuine readiness. John D. Rockefeller understood this principle when he made his first oil investment. Napoleon, he told me, I was never ready for any of the opportunities that built my fortune. I simply acted on them anyway, and readiness came through action. If I had waited until I felt ready, I would still be waiting. Chapter 7, The Compound Effect of Immediate Action. The true power of the 10-second rule becomes apparent not in individual applications, but in its compound effect over time. When you consistently honor your impulses to act within 10 seconds, you create a momentum that transforms not just your productivity, but your entire relationship with opportunity and achievement. Consider this mathematical reality. If you apply the 10-second rule just 3 times per day, you will take over 1,000 immediate actions per year. These actions compound upon each other, creating opportunities, building relationships, and developing skills that would never have existed if you had allowed procrastination to rule your life. But the compound effect goes beyond mere numbers. Each time you successfully apply the 10-second rule, you strengthen what I call your action muscle, your capacity to move from intention to implementation without delay. This muscle, like any other, grows stronger with use and weaker with neglect. Andrew Carnegie demonstrated this compound effect throughout his career. Napoleon, he once explained, I built my fortune not through a few large decisions, but through thousands of small actions taken immediately upon recognizing opportunity. Each immediate action created new opportunities, which led to more immediate actions, which created even greater opportunities. This compound effect of immediate action has been the true secret of my success. The compound effect also operates in reverse. Each time you fail to honor an impulse to act, you strengthen your procrastination muscle while weakening your action muscle. This is why procrastination becomes progressively easier and action becomes progressively harder for those who allow delay to dominate their lives. Henry Ford understood this reverse compound effect when he observed Napoleon. I have noticed that people who hesitate once will hesitate again, and people who act once will act again. Success and failure are both habits that compound over time. The 10-second rule ensures that you compound success rather than failure. Chapter 8, Advanced Applications for Wealth Building. Now let me share with you the advanced applications of the 10-second rule, specifically designed for wealth building and financial success. These applications have been tested and proven by some of America's most successful entrepreneurs and investors. Application 1. Opportunity recognition and capture wealth is created by recognizing and acting upon opportunities that others miss or ignore. The 10-second rule dramatically improves your ability to both recognize and capture these opportunities before they disappear. When you encounter a potential business opportunity, whether it's a conversation with a potential partner, an idea for a new product, or a chance to invest in an undervalued asset, you must take immediate action to explore and secure that opportunity. This might mean exchanging contact information, scheduling a follow-up meeting, or conducting preliminary research. John D. Rockefeller applied this principle when he first learned about the potential of oil refining. Rather than spending weeks analyzing the opportunity, he immediately visited several refineries, spoke with operators, and began making small investments to test the market. This immediate action allowed him to establish a dominant position in the industry before his competitors even recognized the opportunity. Application 2. Network building and relationship development. Wealth is rarely created in isolation. It emerges from networks of relationships with other successful individuals. The 10-second rule can dramatically accelerate your ability to build and maintain these crucial relationships. When you meet someone who could potentially contribute to your success, or to whom you could contribute, you must take immediate action to establish and maintain that connection. This might mean sending a follow-up email, connecting on professional platforms, or scheduling a future meeting. Andrew Carnegie built his vast network using this exact approach. Napoleon, he once told me, "I have learned that relationships are like plants. They must be tended immediately and consistently, or they wither and die." When I meet someone of value, I immediately take action to nurture that relationship. This habit has been worth millions to me over the years. Application 3. Investment decision making. The 10-second rule can also be applied to investment decisions, though this requires careful adaptation to avoid impulsive financial mistakes. The key is to use the rule for taking investigative action, not for making final investment decisions. When you encounter a potential investment opportunity, use the 10-second rule to immediately begin your due diligence process. This might mean contacting your financial advisor, researching the company or asset, or seeking the opinion of trusted experts. The goal is to maintain momentum in your investment analysis rather than allowing opportunities to slip away through procrastination. Charles Schwab applied this principle throughout his investment career. Napoleon, he shared, "I have missed more opportunities through delay than through poor judgment. When I encounter a potential investment, I immediately begin investigating it." This doesn't mean I invest immediately. It means I act immediately to determine whether I should invest. Chapter 9, The Psychology of Sustained Implementation. Understanding the 10-second rule is one thing. Implementing it consistently over time is quite another. Let me share with you the psychological principles that will enable you to make this rule a permanent part of your success system. Principle 1, identity-based implementation. The most powerful way to sustain any new behavior is to make it part of your identity, rather than simply a technique you use. Instead of thinking I am someone who uses the 10-second rule, you must begin thinking I am someone who takes immediate action on opportunities. This shift in identity creates what psychologists call cognitive consistency, your brain's natural tendency to behave in ways that align with your self-concept. When you see yourself as a person of immediate action, procrastination becomes inconsistent with your identity, making it much easier to maintain the 10-second rule over time. Thomas Edison embodied this principle when he declared, "I am not a man who thinks about acting. I am a man who acts while thinking. This is not something I do, this is who I am." This identity-based approach enabled Edison to maintain his remarkable productivity throughout his entire career. Principle 2, environmental design. Your environment has a profound impact on your ability to take immediate action. You must deliberately design your physical and digital environments to support the 10-second rule rather than hinder it. This means keeping the tools you need for immediate action easily accessible. If your goals involve writing, keep a notebook and pen within arm's reach at all times. If your goals involve networking, keep your contact management system updated and easily accessible. If your goals involve investing, keep your research tools and financial accounts organized and readily available. Henry Ford understood this principle when he designed his factories for maximum efficiency. Napoleon, he explained, I have learned that the environment shapes behavior more powerfully than willpower ever could. By designing my factories to support immediate action, I eliminated the friction that causes delay and hesitation. Principle 3. Accountability systems' sustained implementation of the 10-second rule requires accountability, both to yourself and to others. You must create systems that track your application of the rule and provide feedback on your progress. This might involve keeping a daily log of opportunities where you successfully applied the 10-second rule, sharing your commitment with trusted friends or mentors, or working with an accountability partner who is also implementing the rule in their own life. Andrew Carnegie maintained accountability through what he called his Mastermind Alliance, a group of trusted advisors who met regularly to discuss their goals and hold each other accountable for taking immediate action on opportunities. Napoleon, he told me, accountability transforms good intentions into inevitable results. When others are watching and expecting action, procrastination becomes much more difficult to justify. Chapter 10, Measuring and Optimizing Your Results. As with any success principle, the 10-second rule must be measured and optimized to achieve maximum effectiveness. Let me share with you the specific metrics and optimization strategies that will enable you to continuously improve your application of this powerful principle. Metric 1. Response rate. Track the percentage of genuine impulses to act that you honor within 10 seconds. Your goal should be to achieve a response rate of at least 80%, meaning that you take immediate action on at least 8 out of every 10 genuine impulses you experience. To measure this accurately, you must first become skilled at recognizing genuine impulses versus mere wishful thinking. Genuine impulses, as I mentioned earlier, are specific, energizing, and aligned with your definite major purpose. Track these impulses throughout the day and note whether you honored them within 10 seconds. Metric 2. Momentum maintenance. Measure how often your immediate actions lead to sustained progress on your goals. The 10-second rule should not just initiate action. It should create momentum that carries you forward toward meaningful achievement. Track the percentage of immediate actions that lead to at least 15 minutes of sustained work on your goals. This metric will help you identify whether you're taking truly productive immediate actions or simply busy work that creates the illusion of progress. Metric 3. Opportunity capture. Monitor how many new opportunities you identify and act upon as a result of applying the 10-second rule. This might include new business contacts, investment opportunities, learning experiences, or chances to contribute value to others. John D. Rockefeller tracked this metric throughout his career, noting that his immediate action on opportunities consistently led to exponential returns. Napoleon, he observed, I have found that immediate action on one opportunity typically creates 3 new opportunities. This multiplication effect has been the foundation of my wealth optimization strategy 1. Pattern recognition. Analyze your tracking data to identify patterns in when and where you most successfully apply the 10-second rule. You may discover that you're more likely to take immediate action at certain times of day, in certain environments, or on certain types of opportunities. Use these insights to optimize your schedule and environment for maximum effectiveness. If you discover that you're most action-oriented in the morning, schedule your most important opportunity-seeking activities during that time. If you find that certain environments support immediate action, spend more time in those environments. Optimization strategy 2. Obstacle analysis. Identify the most common obstacles that prevent you from applying the 10-second rule, then develop specific strategies for overcoming each obstacle. This proactive approach will dramatically improve your response rate over time. For example, if you discover that you often fail to take immediate action because you're in meetings or other social situations, develop discrete ways to honor your impulses in these contexts, such as making quick notes on your phone or scheduling immediate follow-up actions. Charles Schwab used this optimization approach throughout his career. Napoleon, he shared, I continuously study my own patterns of action and inaction, identifying the conditions that support immediate action and the conditions that hinder it. This self-knowledge has enabled me to engineer my life for maximum responsiveness to opportunity. Chapter 11, the ripple effect on all areas of life. While the 10-second rule is particularly powerful for wealth building and career advancement, its effects extend far beyond professional success. When you master the art of immediate action, you transform every area of your life in profound and lasting ways. Health and physical vitality. The 10-second rule can revolutionize your approach to health and fitness. When you have an impulse to exercise, eat healthily, or engage in other wellness activities, immediate action prevents the rationalization and resistance that typically undermine these positive intentions. Instead of allowing your brain to generate excuses for why you can't exercise today, you immediately put on your workout clothes and begin moving. Instead of debating whether you should eat that healthy meal or indulge in junk food, you immediately begin preparing the healthy option. Thomas Edison applied this principle to his health throughout his long and productive life. Napoleon, he told me, I have learned that the body, like the mind, responds best to immediate action. When I feel the impulse to take care of my physical health, I act on it immediately, before my brain can convince me that I'm too busy or too tired. Relationships and social connections. The 10-second rule can dramatically improve your relationships by helping you act immediately on impulses to connect, contribute, and communicate with others. When you feel moved to express appreciation, offer help, or reach out to someone you care about, immediate action prevents these positive impulses from being forgotten or rationalized away. This might mean immediately sending a text message to thank someone, picking up the phone to check on a friend, or writing a note of encouragement to a colleague. These small, immediate actions compound over time to create deeper, more meaningful relationships. Andrew Carnegie understood this principle when he built his vast network of personal and professional relationships. Napoleon, he observed, relationships are built through thousands of small actions taken immediately upon feeling moved to connect with others. The people who wait for the right moment to nurture their relationships find that the right moment never comes. Personal growth and learning the 10-second rule can accelerate your personal development by helping you act immediately on impulses to learn, grow, and expand your capabilities. When you encounter an interesting book, course, or learning opportunity, immediate action prevents procrastination from stealing these chances for growth. This might mean immediately ordering a book that catches your interest, signing up for a course that aligns with your goals, or reaching out to a mentor who could guide your development. The key is to act before your brain can generate reasons why the learning opportunity isn't necessary or convenient. Henry Ford applied this principle throughout his career, constantly seeking new knowledge and skills. Napoleon, he shared, I have built my success not on what I knew when I started, but on my willingness to immediately pursue new knowledge whenever the opportunity presented itself. Learning, like wealth, compounds when you act immediately on opportunities to grow. Chapter 12, Advanced Psychological Strategies. As you become more skilled at applying the 10-second rule, you can begin implementing advanced psychological strategies that will further enhance your effectiveness and create even more dramatic results. Strategy 1, Impulse Amplification. This strategy involves deliberately amplifying your genuine impulses to act by connecting them to your deepest values and strongest emotions. When you feel an impulse to take action toward your goals, immediately remind yourself why this action matters to you and how it connects to your definite major purpose. For example, if you feel an impulse to make a sales call but notice some resistance, immediately connect that action to your deeper purpose. This call could help me provide for my family's security and create the freedom I desire. This emotional amplification makes it much easier to honor the 10-second rule. Strategy 2. Resistance reframing. Instead of fighting against the resistance you feel when impulses to act arise, you can learn to reframe that resistance as a signal that you're about to do something important. The presence of resistance often indicates that an action has the potential to create significant positive change in your life. When you feel resistance to taking immediate action, tell yourself, this resistance means I'm about to do something that matters. The stronger the resistance, the more important the action. This reframe transforms resistance from an obstacle into a guide that points you toward your most important opportunities. Thomas Edison used this reframing strategy throughout his career as an inventor. Napoleon, he explained, I have learned that my greatest breakthroughs always come from pursuing the ideas that feel most difficult to act upon. Resistance is not a stop sign. It's a treasure map pointing toward the actions that will create the most value. Strategy 3. Future self-visualization. Before taking immediate action on an impulse, quickly visualize your future self thanking you for having the courage to act, despite any fear or uncertainty. This creates a powerful emotional pull toward action by connecting your present moment decision to your future success and satisfaction. This visualization doesn't need to be elaborate or time-consuming. A simple 3-second mental image of your future self celebrating the results of your immediate action is sufficient to provide additional motivation for honoring the 10-second rule. Charles Schwab used this strategy when making difficult business decisions. Napoleon, he shared, whenever I feel hesitant about taking immediate action, I imagine myself 1 year in the future. Looking back on this moment, I ask myself, will my future self be grateful that I acted, or will he regret that I hesitated? The answer is always clear, and it gives me the courage to move forward immediately. Chapter 13. Building your personal action system. To achieve mastery of the 10-second rule, you must develop a personalized system that supports immediate action in all areas of your life. This system should be tailored to your specific goals, circumstances, and challenges. Component 1, trigger identification. Identify the specific situations, emotions, and thoughts that typically precede your genuine impulses to act. By becoming aware of these triggers, you can prepare yourself to respond with immediate action when they occur. Common triggers include feeling inspired after reading or learning something new, recognizing a problem that you could solve, meeting someone who could contribute to your success, discovering an undervalued opportunity, or feeling dissatisfied with your current progress toward your goals. Create a written list of your personal triggers and review it regularly to maintain awareness of when opportunities for immediate action are most likely to arise. Component 2. Action inventory. Develop a comprehensive inventory of immediate actions you can take in various situations. This preparation eliminates the need to think about what to do when impulses arise. You simply consult your inventory and act. Your action inventory might include specific people to contact for different types of opportunities, resources to consult when researching new ideas, tools and systems to use for capturing and organizing information, and standard follow-up procedures for different types of interactions. John D. Rockefeller maintained what he called his opportunity response system, a detailed inventory of immediate actions he could take in various business situations. Napoleon, he explained, preparation eliminates hesitation. When I encounter an opportunity, I don't waste time deciding what to do. I immediately implement the appropriate response from my prepared system. Component 3, environmental optimization. Design your physical and digital environments to support immediate action rather than hinder it. This means organizing your workspace, technology, and resources to minimize friction when you need to act quickly. Keep frequently used contact information easily accessible. Maintain organized files for different types of opportunities. Ensure your communication tools are always ready for immediate use, and eliminate distractions that could interfere with your ability to recognize and respond to impulses to act. Component 4, recovery protocols. Develop specific protocols for recovering when you fail to apply the 10-second rule. Rather than allowing one failure to derail your progress, have a plan for getting back on track immediately. Your recovery protocol might include immediately analyzing why you failed to act, identifying what you could do differently next time, taking some form of action within the next hour to maintain momentum, and recommitting to applying the rule more consistently going forward. Andrew Carnegie understood the importance of recovery protocols. Napoleon, he told me, perfection is not the goal, progress is the goal. When I fail to act immediately on an opportunity, I don't waste time on regret. I immediately analyze the failure, learn from it, and take action to prevent similar failures in the future. Chapter 14, the compound wealth effect. Now let me share with you the most profound application of the 10-second rule, its ability to create compound wealth, effects that can transform your financial future in ways that seem almost miraculous to those who don't understand the underlying principles. Compound wealth effects occur when immediate actions create opportunities that generate returns, which create additional opportunities that generate even greater returns, and so on. This exponential growth pattern is the secret behind every great fortune in history. Consider this example. You have an impulse to attend a networking event, but you feel tired and would prefer to stay home. If you apply the 10-second rule, you immediately register for the event and put it on your calendar. At the event, you meet someone who mentions a business opportunity. You immediately exchange contact information and schedule a follow-up meeting. That meeting leads to a joint venture that generates significant profits. Those profits enable you to invest in additional opportunities, which generate even greater returns. This entire chain of wealth creation began with a single application of the 10-second rule. Without that immediate action, none of the subsequent opportunities would have existed. Henry Ford experienced this compound effect when he decided to implement the assembly line production method. Napoleon, he told me, the idea for the assembly line came to me during a visit to a slaughterhouse where I observed the efficiency of their disassembly process. I had an immediate impulse to apply this concept to automobile manufacturing. Instead of spending months analyzing the idea, I immediately began experimenting with it in my factory. That single moment of immediate action revolutionized not just my business, but the entire manufacturing industry. The compound wealth effect operates according to three fundamental principles. Principle 1. Velocity multiplies value. The faster you act on opportunities, the more value they tend to create. This is because opportunities are often time-sensitive. They exist within windows that close quickly. By acting immediately, you capture opportunities at their peak potential value. Principle 2. Action creates information. Immediate action generates information that cannot be obtained through analysis or planning. This information often reveals additional opportunities that would never have been visible from a theoretical perspective. Principle 3. Success attracts success. When you consistently take immediate action on opportunities, you develop a reputation as someone who gets things done. This reputation attracts more and better opportunities, creating an upward spiral of increasing success. Charles Schwab built his steel empire using these exact principles. Napoleon, he shared, I discovered early in my career that immediate action on small opportunities consistently led to much larger opportunities. Each time I acted quickly on a chance to create value, new and better chances presented themselves. This compound effect has been the foundation of my wealth. Chapter 15, Mastering the Mental Game. The ultimate mastery of the 10-second rule requires mastering the mental game, the internal dialogue, beliefs, and thought patterns that either support or sabotage your ability to take immediate action. Mental game element 1, self-talk optimization. Your internal dialogue has a profound impact on your ability to apply the 10-second rule. You must learn to recognize and replace the self-talk patterns that promote hesitation with patterns that promote immediate action. Hesitation-promoting self-talk includes phrases like, I should think about this more. What if I'm making a mistake? I'm not sure I'm ready for this, and maybe I should wait for a better opportunity. Action-promoting self-talk includes phrases like, this is my moment to act. I'll learn what I need to know by doing. Ready or not, here I go. And opportunities like this don't wait for perfect timing. Thomas Edison mastered this aspect of the mental game early in his career. Napoleon, he told me, I trained myself to think in terms of immediate action rather than eventual action. Instead of thinking, I should try this someday, I think, I will try this right now. This simple shift in language has been worth millions to me over the years. Mental game element 2. Fear transmutation. Fear is the primary emotion that prevents people from taking immediate action on their impulses. However, fear can be transmuted from an obstacle into an ally through proper understanding and technique. The key insight is that fear and excitement are physiologically identical. They both involve increased heart rate, heightened alertness, and elevated energy. The only difference is the story you tell yourself about what these sensations mean. When you feel the physical sensations that typically accompany fear, Immediately reframe them as excitement about the opportunity ahead. Tell yourself, I'm not nervous, I'm excited. My body is preparing me for success. John D. Rockefeller used this fear transmutation technique throughout his career. Napoleon, he explained, I learned early that the opportunities that scared me the most were often the ones with the greatest potential for reward. I began to seek out the opportunities that made me most nervous, knowing that my fear was actually pointing me toward my greatest chances for success. Mental game element 3, identity reinforcement. Your actions must be consistent with your identity, or psychological tension will undermine your efforts. You must continuously reinforce your identity as someone who takes immediate action on opportunities. This reinforcement occurs through both internal dialogue and external behavior. Internally, remind yourself regularly, I am someone who acts immediately on opportunities. Hesitation is not part of my character. I am decisive, courageous, and action-oriented. Externally, look for opportunities to demonstrate immediate action in low-stakes situations. This builds your confidence and strengthens your action-oriented identity, making it easier to apply the 10-to-second rule in high-stakes situations. Andrew Carnegie understood the power of identity reinforcement. Napoleon, he shared, I deliberately cultivated a reputation as someone who made quick decisions and took immediate action. This reputation became self-fulfilling. The more people expected me to act quickly, the more natural quick action became for me. My dear friend, you now possess the complete system for implementing the 10-second rule in your life. This is not merely a time management technique or a productivity hack. It is a fundamental rewiring of your relationship with opportunity, action, and success. The principles I have shared with you today have been tested and proven by some of the most successful individuals in history. Andrew Carnegie used immediate action to build a steel empire. Henry Ford used it to revolutionize manufacturing. Thomas Edison used it to create inventions that changed the world. John D. Rockefeller used it to accumulate wealth beyond imagination. Charles Schwab used it to build industrial dynasties. But these men were not born with special abilities that you lack. They simply understood and applied the principle that separates achievers from dreamers, the willingness to act immediately on opportunities, regardless of fear, uncertainty, or imperfect conditions. The 10-second rule gives you the same power that these industrial giants possessed. It enables you to capture opportunities that others miss, build momentum that others cannot sustain, and create compound effects that others cannot explain. Remember, every moment of hesitation is a moment of opportunity lost. Every second you spend in analysis paralysis is a second that could have been invested in building your fortune. Every impulse to act that you ignore is a door to success that closes forever. But every time you honor the 10-to-second rule, you open new doors, create new possibilities, and move closer to the achievement of your definite major purpose. The choice is yours, and you must make it not tomorrow, not next week, but right now, in this very moment. Now, my friend, you have the formula. Take these principles and apply them today. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. The next time you feel an impulse to take action toward your goals, remember the 10-second rule. Count down from 10, and before you reach 0, move your body in the direction of your dreams. If this message has stirred something within you, I ask that you like this video and subscribe to join our growing community of achievers. Together, we are building the Thought Leaders Mindset Community, a gathering of individuals committed to excellence, immediate action, and mutual elevation. Your success is not just your own, it lifts all of us. The world needs what you have to offer, but only if you have the courage to offer it immediately, without hesitation, without delay. Remember the words that have guided every great achievement in history: whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve, but only if you act on that conception within 10 seconds of its arrival. The clock is ticking. Your moment is now. Your opportunity is here. The only question that remains is this: will you honor your impulse to greatness, or will you let it slip away into the graveyard of good intentions where most dreams go to die? The choice is yours. Choose wisely, choose quickly, choose now. Until we meet again, go forth and achieve greatness through the power of immediate action.